Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful star pendant, or you can use it as a Christmas ornament. I've been wanting to show you guys how to make this star for a long time, but I haven't till now because the beads that you need for the legs are hard to find. I have only found them in two places. I first found them at Michael's, and this was like 10 years ago. They were glass, but I don't have enough to make a star. The second place I have found them was at thrift stores, and they were acrylic and wooden. These ones here. So earlier this year I found two amazing ladies here on YouTube, Beyondbracelets and Janice May, and I learned from them how to make paper beads. After I made about 50 paper beads, I realized the shape of the beads I was getting were very similar to these beads. So I measured this acrylic bead, and it was 3/4 of an inch long. So I took a sales ad, or you can use a magazine, and if there are staples in the center, take them out. Then mark the sides of the paper every 3/4 of an inch and cut out paper triangles, like these ones here. So this is the whole length of a magazine or sales ad. And here's the fold, so it's pretty long. Then roll, glue, and glaze them. And you will get these pretty paper beads right here. See the amazing colors? I made this star with 3/4 inch paper beads, and this one has 1 inch paper beads. So if you don't already have these acrylic beads and you can't find where to buy them, and you might actually be able to find them on the internet, then I recommend that you make your own paper beads, because these stars I think are a lot prettier than just the acrylic ones or the wooden one. So like I said, you can make your own paper beads, and if you don't know how to do them, then I recommend two amazing people here on YouTube, Beyondbracelets and Janice May. They are the best, and I've learned all that I know about paper beads from them. So go ahead and check them out. I'll leave links to their channels below in the description bar. So all of these stars are made the same. Only thing I did to make them look different is I used different size and shape beads in different areas. So I'm going to tell you all the different beads I used for all 5 stars, so you could choose how you want to make your own star. And for example, what I'm saying is, like in these 3 bigger ones here, I used 8mm round beads, and then in these ones I used 6mm rounds. So here are all the beads that I used for all 5 stars, but you could choose what you want to make, how you want your star to be. So the materials you're going to need are going to be 6 feet of 8-pound or 10-pound test monofilament. You're going to need 10 6mm round beads, these green ones, or 8mm beads, brown ones here. You're going to need 10 3/4 inch oval acrylic beads. These are acrylic, or 3/4 inch paper beads, these ones. These are 1 inch paper beads. You're going to need 25 to 30 2mm or 8/0 seed beads. So these are 8/0 on the top, and this black one has 2mm. You're going to need, for the bigger stars, because we're using the 8mm, you have to go up in size on the tops. The 6mm are smaller, so that means we use 8s or 2mm. So if you're using 8mm, you have to either use 3mm beads for the top or 6/0 seed beads. You're going to need 11/0 seed beads too, which these here are 11/0, the tiny ones. You're going to need 4mm or 5mm bugle beads if you want to make a star like this. This one has no 11/0. This one is just 4mm bugle beads with 2mm rounds. Now, to decorate the legs, use what you want. I used 11/0 C beads, 8/0 C beads, 6/0 C beads, the red ones, 2mm rounds, which are in this one, this one, this one, and this one, 3mm rounds, having them in this one and this one, and 1 large bead for the centers. These here all have large beads in the center. And this one is half a circle glass marble, or you can use a cabochon for the center. So pretty much you just need a bead that will fit inside of your star and will match the other colors that you're using with your star. So this one was 16 millimeter, this is also 16, this one was 10, this one's 8, and this one is one of those round half glass circle marbles. It's half a circle. I just had that on my desk and I put it in here to see if it would work, and it does work. It's like a cabochon. So there is no set size for the bead that you put into the center of your star. You can use whatever you can fit in there and matches the rest of your beads. If you were confused by any of that, the materials you will need will be in the description bar below the video. Let's get started. I have red and black string. I'm going to pick up a 6 millimeter bead, and then on my left string I'm going to pick up 4 11-aught C beads, and then a 2 millimeter bead, or you can use 8-aughts. And then on my right string I'm going to pick up 4 C beads. And then I'm going to cross through these 4. Just like this. Put my ends together. Bring this down all the way to the bottom and center of my string until we have this. So we're going to keep going, working in the same stitch. I'm going to go ahead and pin my work down so it doesn't move. Okay, so we are going to be repeating the same stitch over and over, and I separated my beads this way so you can do the same thing. What we're going to do is we're going to pick up every time on our left side one of these beads, and on our right side we're going to pick up one of these 2 millimeters. Then after we do that, every time we're going to cross through 4 11-aught C beads, just like this. Pull it down. And what this is going to do, it's going to curve into a circle. See, it's starting to curve. Left string, again, pick up 6 millimeter or 8, whatever you want. 2 millimeter bead and 4 11-aught C beads. And cross through them. Then bring them down. We should have this. Keep going. Very simple. Pick up a 6 on my right. Pick up a 2 millimeter. And then 4 C beads. And cross through all 4. Make sure you pull tight so there's no loose space in here. And then, again with my right, I'm going to pick up one of these. On my left, I mean, sorry. And then my right, I'm going to pick up a 2 millimeter. And then I'm going to cross through 4 11-aught C beads. Just like this. So keep on going until you only have one of these beads left over. So if you kept on doing that same stitch and only have one of these 6 millimeter beads left, then you should have this. You should have 9 of these 6 millimeter beads on the outside, and then you should have 10 rows of these black seed beads. I'm just going to call these spokes because it's like spokes on a bicycle. And then you should have 9 of these silver 2 millimeter beads in the center. So I'm going to take my needle out, so hold my work down, And all of this needs to be tightened. You shouldn't be able to see a lots of room of your fishing line. So what I'm going to do is take this string that's on the inside, pick up one 2mm bead, and I'm exiting out of these here, and I'm going to go through these 11/0 C beads. All four. Just like this. Pull both of your strings nice and snug. Now we should have this. Then I'm going to take both of my strings, pick up my last 6mm, and I'm going to cross through it. Now you should have this completed. You should have 10 2mm beads in the middle, 10 spokes of C beads, and then 10 6mm round beads on the edge. So now we have to make this double-sided because it will not hold our bead in the middle if we don't. So this side is like that, and the other side is like that too. So let's do the other side. So now we have to mirror this side. Since we already have these 6mm beads on, we are not going to be picking them up, of course, because we already have them. So just instead of picking them up, we're just going to be passing through them. So you have to make sure that your tension is right, because this does loosen up. I'm going to start by picking up 4 11/0 C beads on my right string, slide them down, pick up a 2mm bead, and then 4 11/0 C beads. Then cross through these 4, just like this. And we should have this. So with this string, to pick up more C beads, I have to pass through this 6mm bead. You have to do this every time. If you forget to do it, you'll see it's a big looking mistake. So next thing I have to do on my right string, I'm going to pick up a 2mm bead, pick up 4 11s again, and cross through them. Bring them down and pull them tight. The farther we go, the more this is going to flatten out, because it's really ripply right now. So now I have to go through the next bead with my left string, just like that. Now with my right, I have to pick up one 2mm bead and 4 11s and cross through them. Just like this. Hold it down. Again, I have to go with my left string through this 6mm bead, and with my right I have to pick up a 2mm 4 11/0 and cross through them. Now we have to go through the next one with my left string. So keep on going, doing this until you get to the other side. And you have one of these 2mm beads left over. To keep you from getting confused, I just want to remind you that with the string that's pointing on the outside, you're only going to go through these beads with this outside string. With the string on the inside, this is the one that you pick up beads on. Your 2mm and then your 4 seed beads, and you cross through those 4. And then you repeat the same thing again, and you have to go through one of these outside beads with your outside string. And then with your inside string, you pick up your 2mm and your 4 little seed beads, and you cross through them. Just keep repeating this step. So I kept on going until I got 10 rows of these seed bead spokes here on this side, and 9 silver 2mm beads on the inside. So while this is open, it's like a pocket, and now we have to put a bead on the inside. So I'm going to take my needle out, if I can. Oh my gosh. And now I'm going to open this up and put a bead inside. This bead was 14mm bead. So to close this up, I'm going to take the inside string, this string. I'm going to pick up my last 2mm bead, and this might be a little tough, but we're going to go through all 4 of these seed beads right here. There's 3. Do one more. Okay, that fell out, so I'm just gonna stick it back in. And then pull my strings, just like this. Now we have to take both of these strings, they're exiting out of these seed beads on this side, and I'm going to pass them through this purple bead. So this left one goes on the left side, and then the right one goes through the right side. Just like this. Now tighten it up, because now we have to secure this bead on the inside so it stays nice and still. Okay, so let's secure this bead. It's going to be a little tough, but it's not that bad. So our strings are exiting out here, and if you look between each one of these 6mm beads, you'll see 4 strings crossing. I'm going to take my string, I'm going to put it in this hole. I'm going to go up through this bead, so you have to make sure that this large bead is straight. Now I'm going to use the large bead to get where I need my string to exit out by turning my bead slightly to the left. I'm going to try to get my string to exit out of this hole up here. So if I turn my bead this way, it comes out right here. This is where I need it to come out at. So I'm going to pull it through, but not all the way. I'm going to leave a little loop down here, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do the same with my other string. So we can see that we're going through that hole, because this is still sticking out. So I'm going to take this other string, and I have to turn the large bead inside. I'm going to put the string through this hole like I did on the other side. I'm going to go up through this big bead in the middle, and I'm going to exit out this side over here. I just went through that side. So you could still see I'm exiting out that side with my other string. Turn this bead in the middle, we can exit out this hole right here. So, with these sticking out, you can see that we are going straight up through this large bead, and then our strings are exiting out on either side. So it's nice and straight. So we're not yet going to pull these through yet. We have to take these strings. I'm going to stick my finger in this so I don't lose them. We have to take these strings. I'm going to take this one and go down this bead. Then I'm going to take my other string and go through this bead. Same bead, opposite directions. So now we have this. Now, the reason why I haven't pulled these loops yet through is because this here gets very loose. So, you have to grab these strings up here and tighten them up. And you can see these beads are getting tighter again. Keep them nice and tight. And then we'll slowly pull these strings all the way through. Make sure you keep a nice tension. Okay, it's nice and tight. I'm going to go ahead and pull them through. But don't pull these strings too taut, because if you do, then this will not remain a circle. It will go into an oval shape and our star is going to look terrible. So if you want to, you can make this as a pendant already. I would, though, instead of leaving gaps here, I would fill in the gaps with maybe 3mm rounds or bicone crystals, whatever you want. So this could just be a pendant just by itself with no legs. So now we're at the easiest part. All we have to do is put our legs on. So I'm going to put one of these paper beads on. Then I'm going to pick up an 11-aught, a 2mm 11-aught, and then another paper bead. Slide them down. We're going to skip this bead here that's next to where we're exiting at, and we're going to go through the next bead. Just like this. Now I have to pick up my next row of paper beads, or the acrylic ones if you have those. Then I'm going to pick up an 11-aught, a silver, an 11-aught, and then a paper bead. I'm going to go through, skip over this bead that I'm exiting near, and then I'm going to go through the next bead. Just like this. So now I'm going to stop and do my other two legs. Pick this string up. I'm going to pick up paper bead, pick up an 11, a 2mm 11, another paper bead, slide it down. I'm going to skip over this bead and go through the next. And sometimes it seems like it curls up like that, but I realize it's just the fishing string. So you have to turn your string to get it to go flat. So again, I have to pick up another paper bead and an 11, 2mm 11, and another paper bead. And I'm going to skip this bead here. I'm exiting here. I'm going to skip over this bead and go through the next one. So now I'm going to tighten up my legs by pulling my strings. And now we have 4 legs on. I'm going to separate these strings. And on each string, I'm going to pick up one paper bead, and then one 11-aught seed bead, and then my 2mm bead, and I'm going to cross through it. Pull it, and you should get this. So now we have to decorate the tops of the legs, and if you want to, you don't have to decorate them. You can leave it just like this. So if you remember what I said at the beginning, that you can decorate the tops of the legs however you want them. With this star, I did bugle beads in 2mm rounds. This star is all 2mm rounds. This one is 2mm rounds, 3mm, 11-aught seed beads, and some rice-shaped beads. This one's 11s, 6-aught seed beads, and 2mm rounds. This one's 11-aught seed beads and 8-aught seed beads. So for this star, I decided that I'm going to do a pattern of 3 11s, 1 3mm, 3 11s, 1 3mm, and 3 11s. So 1, 2, 3, this round, 3 11s, around, 3 11s. Slide them down. Now I'm going to go at an angle through this bead right here. I'm going to take the other string and pick up 3 seed beads, and I'm going to go up through this 3mm round, just like this. I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads again, my round bead, 3 seed beads, and this time I'm going to go through this bead over here. Pull your strings snug, so your leg should look like this. So now I'm going to use one string on each side, and I'm going to fill in these legs, and I'm going to come up to one leg and X out of that. And if you put your strings together and check and see which one is longer, my red one's longer. So I'll probably do more picking up the beads with my red string since that's longer. So for now I'm going to take my black string. I'm going to pick up that pattern of 3 seed beads, my round, 3 seed beads, my round, 3 seed beads, slide them all down, and I'm going to go through this 2mm bead in this direction. Just the 2mm. Pull that through. And then I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads. I'm going to go through this 3mm bead. I'm going to pick up my same sequence of seed beads, 3, then my round bead, and my 11s. Slide them down, and I'm going to go to this bead right here. Pull my string, and I'm going to do the same on my other side. And I'm just going to turn this because I'm more comfortable working with my right hand. I'm going to pick up the same sequence of seed beads, 3 11s, 1 3mm, 3 11s, 1 round, 3 11s, slide them down, and I'm going to go in this direction. And then I'm going to pick up 3 11s and go through this 3mm bead. I'm going to pick up 3 11s, a round bead, 3 11s, slide them down, and I'm going to go through this bead right here. Pull it through, just like this. So now that we have 2 legs left over, I have to find the longer of the strings, and that would be my red one. And I'm going to pick up 3 11s, my 3mm, 3 11s, 3mm, 3 11s, slide them down, and I'm going to go through this bead right here. I'm going to pick up 3 11s and go through this 3mm. Now I have to pick up 3 C beads again, a round bead, and 3 C beads. Slide them down. Now I have to go through this 6mm round right here. Pull my strings tight. I'm going to take this same string and pick up 3 C beads, my round, 3 C beads, my round, 3 seed beads, slide them down, and I'm going to go through this bead right here. Get my string out of the way. Okay. Now to take my other string, pick up 3 seed beads, 3mm, 3 seed beads, slide them down, and I'm going to go through this bead here, pull it through, pick up my 3 last, and now I have to go through this 2mm bead here. So now my strings are exiting in the opposite direction. So there are 3 different ways that I have finished this star off. The one thing I did, because I had so much string left over, because I used 6 feet, is I took that string and I just strung beads onto it. So there's no knots in here. And then I picked up 6 seed beads and I went back down through my work and I tied my knots in my larger beads so you wouldn't see them. And then the next way that I did it was I knotted off in my star, knotted all this off, and then I took beading wire and I put it through these 3 beads here, the 11/0 2mm and the 11/0 C bead, strung on my beads, and then I finished them off with crimps. And the third way that I've done it is with a bail, so you can use this as a Christmas ornament. If you don't know how to do this bail here, I've done it in several of my earring videos. The only difference is I used a whole bunch of beads in this bail, and the other ones have a small amount. If you don't want to use this to put on the Christmas tree, you can make a smaller bail and just put one of those Christmas ornament hooks through it to hang it. So I'm just going to show you how to knot the star off. I'm going to do the same half-hitch knot I've been doing. I'm going to go through this C bead, then I'm going to go through my paper bead, and I should have checked to make sure all this was tight. I guess I can still do it. And I'm going to make a loop. I'm just going to go like this, pull it through, go through this loop here twice, slide my knot down to where I want it to be, and pull it down. Then I'm going to go through my 6mm bead, and I'm going to tie another half-hitch knot right here. This is actually one of the easiest things to tie knots in. Compared to like the rings that I've done, it's pretty simple. Go through my paper bead, go through all these beads here. I'm not going to tie knots in the point. Go through this one, go down this C bead and out through my paper bead. Okay, and tie another knot here. Now you're going to do the same thing until you get to over here. You're going to tie the knots inside of these 6mm beads, or if you're doing 8mm, then you would tie them in here. Don't tie the knots in the point, because when you're going to go to string it, it's going to be a pain in the butt. And another thing, when you go to hang your pendant, it's not a big deal, but the bead in the middle is going this way, so you could hang it on this star here on the top of that point if you want it to be like that. It's up to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you don't know how to make these paper beads, watch Beyondbracelets and Janice May paper bead videos here on YouTube. They're the best at making the beads, and they show you all the different sizes and shapes that you can make. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like this video, leave a comment, friend me on Facebook, show me what you've made, and I hope that you all have many beautiful nights, and bye for now.